is a good sweatshirt.
I like that sweatshirt.
I'm repping New York. I'm not from New York, but I support.
Does everyone like when I sing in the middle of the pod? Does that make it peak in their ears?
Yeah, can we get a little more?
Jungle where dreams are made of. Did we
harmonize? Yeah, I think we did. It feels so unnatural.
Talking to me? I know. I thought that was... Man, when we got married, I remember you said that in your vows. You're like, it feels unnatural talking to you.
No, I think just in this environment, it's not my natural habitat.
But because we have lights and cameras and microphones?
Well, just a microphone. Again, like holding this. It seems like a lot of pressure.
Pretend it's a bottle of champagne.
I mean, I certainly don't hold a bottle of champagne like this. It's more like...
At our... So for those listening at home and not watching, she just sprayed it all over the room.
I believe I gesticulated all over the room.
You gesticulated all over it. Let's not get inappropriate. We're just starting the pod. A lot of people are just starting to listen. Are you going to get inappropriate on this pod? Because we already put an explicit label. We could put a second one.
How inappropriate is inappropriate? I don't know. Like whatever.
I mean, you opened up with the word gesticulate. Who knows where we can go? You know, some people use the word ejaculate to mean to throw something.
Absolutely not.
Or like an excited utterance. It's in literature. They'll be like, yeah, he didn't know what to say and just ejaculated something foolish.
I don't think people say that.
I am telling you it's in literature. Google it.
What literature are you reading?
Porn.
Okay. You read your porn?
Erotic literature? Yeah, with all my free time, that's what I'm doing. I'm reading porn.
I did not know that I needed to go on the podcast to really get into... I mean, are you going to get inappropriate on this podcast?
So for those who are listening, I'm going to call this one out. Between the two of us, the one who reads really raunchy, erotic novels is not me.
I read Verity one time.
And we all knew.
One Colin Hoover book.
Colleen?
Colleen. See, exactly. I don't even know the author.
You are such a liar. Didn't you also read, what is it? The Start of Us, The End of Us?
It ends with us.
The Front of Us?
Yeah.
It ends with us.
It was upsetting.
Well, you know what's good with a book? A cup of tea. So let's introduce the tea before we keep going. And you know what? 100th episode. You gotta give it to them.
Okay.
So for those steeping at home, we are drinking Blueberry and Peach, which is an herbal tea by Bird and Blend. And fun fact for those who are listening and even watching, you won't be able to see, this tea is purple. This is an herbal tea. So we steeped it at boiling. I did it for 6 minutes, but do it for however long you want.
I mean, it's kind of like...
That's really good. I really like that. Very blueberry-y. Blueby. Very blueberry-y.
It's pretty. That's a pretty tea. It's a light tea.
I like it.
It's almost like a butterfly pea flower.
Okay, now we got a tea expert on the pod.
Listens to the pod.
Did I ever make you the butterfly pea flower? I think I did.
You have, yeah. I feel like I've had almost all of these teas.
When we met 5.5 years ago, did you think one day I am going to be the 100th guest on Steep Conversations, the very famous tea-themed comedy podcast?
I didn't know if it was going to get to 100 guests, to be honest.
Wow. Okay. Well, I think we should wrap it up. Let's close it. Yeah, Martin, leave it in.
Edit that one.
Martin, I want her lack of faith in me left in the pod. Wow. Okay. And I was joking when we first dated, but now I think you were seriously like, you didn't think this would get to 100 episodes.
No, I mean, 100 episodes is like, that's a centennial. Like that's a lot of people you convinced to come sit down and have a cup of tea with you.
Hard use of the word
It's 100 cups of tea. Like that's a lot of tea for any person.
Excitedly wanted to come be on the pod, I think is what your word. Yeah. But all jokes aside, 5 years ago, I think what was interesting is when you met me and you found out I was doing comedy. I don't think, and please correct me if I'm wrong, you ever thought I will somehow be involved.
No, it's honestly my biggest nightmare.
Being
involved in I am an avid watcher, attendee of comedy shows, supporter,
very good attendee,
lover of the arts. I am not
Jessica Simino, lover of the arts. Yeah,
lover of the arts. I am not the one doing the comedy. I am not. So it really is very wildly uncomfortable to be on the other side of it.
Have you ever been on stage?
5th grade, American Music Through Time, I think was the last time I was on stage. I sang "Proud to Be an American," which is controversial.
By yourself?
No, with my classmates.
Oh, I was praying that you had a solo on Lee
No.
Greenwood's only hit.
Yeah, no. Unfortunately, I was not the star of the show that day. But
You're
yeah,
the
it was
star of the
American Music
show
Theater.
here.
Is that a common thing? I don't know if a lot of
Never
people.
heard of it.
Okay, so at my school,
I
we
was
did
busy doing Guys and Dolls. Okay.
Okay, so I
was
didn't. I did not.
busy doing Brigadoon. Okay.
I was playing sports and just
Heard of
living my
them?
life. Net.
Heard of a sport?
But yeah, American Music Through Time was like a play that like they
Kids
forced.
do?
Yeah, I don't know if that was. I thought it was normal. Apparently, it's not. But like, it is a play that they require all. I think it's like 5th grade, 6th grade, and you had to like learn all of the songs. You're looking at me like I'm insane. For the record, I didn't grow up in a cult. Like, it sounds very cultish.
It sounds more like something that would be done in a conservative environment.
Well, Brentwood, California, corn capital of the world. Shout out Brentwood.
Just for everyone listening, I don't want to confuse. I want to point out there is a Brentwood in Los Angeles and a Brentwood, California. Those are not the same Brentwood.
Not the same.
You are not from Los Angeles.
No,
you
absolutely
are from Northern California.
That is correct.
Now, I'm sure everyone already knows this who's listening because I've talked about you a lot, but I believe your words were, and maybe I'm bastardizing them a hint, when you left to go to Texas Christian, you said, I will never, ever go back to living in California. Is that close?
That may be a direct quote, but
Now, talk to me. Heard you met a really attractive guy, 2019, Studley, very funny, great personality, incredibly humorous. All of a sudden, you're back in California. When you met this guy, we don't know who he is. Did you think you would ever come back here?
No. I mean, when I left California, I think I was just a girl looking to get out. Meeting you was not part of the plan.
Did I mess up your plans? I don't hope not.
No, I mean, I don't think I had any plans at that time. Like that was a period of time in my life where I think just very free, very just kind of go with the flow, doing what I want, traveling a bunch, had a good job, just kind of living my life. I was like I've never been one of those girls to be like, here's my list of like, these are all of the qualifications, and maybe I probably should have been more intentional about that, but.
So we're going to stop there. It's a little pit stop there. Are there things that you're missing?
No, I'm just saying if you look at my dating history.
Oh, I see. It
is a little bit of like kind of like blindfolded, like throwing darts on, just seeing what sticks. So I never had like a checklist of like, these are the qualities. These are, this is what I'm looking for in a partner. I have never been on a dating app.
I was just thinking about what I was a little distracted by when you were talking about how all your exes were just a hodgepodge. I was thinking, if anyone, the royal you, looks at your exes, a really fun game to play is take all of them together as a group, put them on a bunch of different reality shows. Who wins what reality show?
Ooh, that's actually a good question. Like, if you were on a game show, like what would you win?
Yeah, I don't know.
Top Chef?
Maybe Top Chef. I don't know how well
I feel
your
like you'd be good at
cooked.
like Deal or No Deal.
That's all luck.
I feel like you're pretty lucky, though.
Interesting. I always tell people that I'm not lucky. I think that for people to be lucky, there need to be a group of people that are unlucky so that the lucky people can win things. Like in raffles.
That's just what lucky people say.
Generally, exes aside, what game show do you think you'd be good at?
I played a lot of team sports growing up, so I feel like something with a team, like maybe Survivor-esque, maybe
so I
like
thought of Survivor for you, but not because of the sports.
Real world, like Battle of the Sexes, like some sort of like
rules.
Road rules. Yes, Battle of the Sexes. That was that was a fun game. That was great. Like team activities, like some sort of like relay race I could really excel in, like maybe some puzzles. That's what I'm thinking. Like
there's the Amazing
Survivor.
Race. That's a race.
No, I don't think I would do well on The Amazing Race. Like I would
wouldn't
crumble.
do well on The Amazing Race
you
as
and
a
I
team.
together?
No,
Absolutely not.
no,
That would
no
end
chance.
in a
No.
divorce.
I'm sorry?
What? What did you say?
Did you invoke the D word?
The D word. Yeah.
Don't care for that.
No, I mean, like, but to be honest, like, I really do think like that would not. We are gonna get divorced.
What?
No, this is how I tell you on the podcast with
I'll
a
tell
witness.
you this. Heaven forbid that ever happens. They will play this in court. They're gonna be like,
Jesus.
yeah. If we cut this episode together, it sounds like Jess just said he can have everything. Like, we'll just cut that together.
No, absolutely not, Martin. I'm gonna need to approve the cuts before They go out.
I got to tell you, there are a few guests who just regularly talk to Martin and not me, and you're now joining those ranks.
Martin, cut this part.
Yeah, Martin,
don't. This is not
don't.
good. This is not what the people want.
Come on now.
But no, I think my final answer is that's a different
that's a
game. Yeah, I'm
different
getting all my
game.
game shows confused.
Yeah.
No, I think Survivor, something active, something physical. With a team dynamic, I think I could really excel in. One-on-one, I crumble under the pressure. Like, heaven forbid it was a goddamn game of charades. I couldn't do it. Like, too
you know
much.
what's really interesting? It's interesting that you are you're a competitive person.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, you don't want to play board games, even though there's a
I
chance
get
you could win.
Bad rap. I think that is, first of all, that's propaganda. I think that
Which
is
part? That you could win?
No, that I don't like.
You don't like board games?
Yes.
This propaganda has been spread long and wide by your family. For those listening at home, you should know when Jess first brought me to meet her family. I think it was on the first visit, if not the second, but it was probably on the first, when your family made it clear that you do not play well with board games.
Before or after Pie Lover?
Before
Pie Lover.
The audiences don't know the story of Pie Lover, but for those who are listening and want to know that story, anyone who's listening probably knows I'm Jewish. If not, look up my face. The first time that your mother invited me over for Christmas, when I came over, she has, I don't know what you'd exactly call it. It's like a small sign. It's like a scrabbly chalkboard that's pretty big. And it said, "Welcome to the family, Josh, #pie-lover" on it, because her mother found out that I liked pie. I think it was on the first or second meeting that I did find out from your family that you do not do board games.
Yeah, I think that's just not true.
A board was flipped in your childhood.
One time. Who hasn't flipped a board game with their family before?
Just raising my hand for those who are listening.
I don't
Jude
believe
is also raising his hand.
That's not true. I feel like outnumbered.
You are.
I think that's a very that's a normal event. That's a pivotal moment.
A board flip?
It's a formative experience to have growing up with your family. If you are not that invested in Candyland or Chutes and Ladders or a game of Sorry, like, what are you doing? You know, like,
was it one of those?
I believe it was either Candyland or Sorry. I think my sister might have got the brunt of that, so she can confirm. It was either Candyland or Sorry. I don't remember which one.
Were you?
But was I? Sorry. No, absolutely not. I am, extremely competitive, but it was the rules. It was the rules. If you don't follow the rules of the game, like, I have a very hard time continuing a game with you. But yeah, so he wasn't following the rules. And so, like, the game had to be flipped.
Here's rule following is interesting. You say you couldn't even imagine that I've never broken a rule. What's crazy to me, and people who don't know you wouldn't understand this. There is 85% of you that is the most rule-abiding citizen I've ever met in my life, and 15% of you that throws caution to the wind and loves to break a rule.
I play fast and loose with a lot of things, but, like, I'm not consistently a rule breaker.
I know you play fast and loose in airports. Hence how we got your sweatshirt going here.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
So for those listening, you're wearing a gray crew neck sweatshirt that says New York. Do you want to tell everybody the scene you made about needing to get that sweatshirt when you saw it?
This is actually the second airport sweatshirt that I have owned.
I
feel like the origins of the gray crew neck city blasted on the front started in Miami, where that was a necessity. I needed to purchase
Do you want to tell them why you needed a sweatshirt?
I don't.
Okay. Well, I'll tell them. We were at a rehab facility, physical rehab facility.
It's not my best
moment. And you said, and I believe I'm quoting here, "I need to get a new sweatshirt. I smell like old people." Believe that's what it was. Is that wrong? The floor is yours.
So I did say that, but I did smell like old people. Old people do have a scent. I don't.
You know what it is? It's wisdom and a life well lived. That's the scent.
Okay. Well, I wasn't going to sit with wisdom on me for the 6-hour flight from Miami to Los Angeles. So I needed to purchase a sweater. I bought just the first normal sweater that I found, which was a gray crew neck sweatshirt.
I believe it said Miami in blue font.
I think it's by the same.
It is definitely the same company.
The same company.
Yeah.
So
if you're guessing
flash
what the
forward,
sweatshirt looks like, go watch this on YouTube.
It's a classic gray crew neck sweater. Why do we keep calling it a sweater? It's actually a sweatshirt.
I never called it a sweater. That's all been on your end. When we got
Martin,
to Martin, leave it. When we got into JFK, we're walking to the gate. You saw this sweatshirt and go, "Oh my god! Oh my god!" I literally thought you just saw a celebrity.
Yeah. So what's so interesting about me is that like you couldn't tell by looking at me, but I do love fashion. I do love clothes.
I cannot tell by looking at you now.
Most people can't.
Look at my Celine bag with my New York airport sweatshirt.
Yeah, I have a lot of designer stuff, and
Yep.
I love a nice pair of shoes or a bag or a handbag or a little logo situation going on.
Me too.
I'm never wearing that. I'm literally never wearing that. So like this is the uniform: crew socks, sweatpants or leggings, and then a city sweatshirt, city branded sweatshirt.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting that you have so many nice things and you wear the worst of them.
I think this is a good sweatshirt.
I like that sweatshirt.
I'm repping New York. I'm not from New York, but I support.
Does everyone like when I sing in the middle of the pod? Does that make it peak in their ears?
Yeah, can we get a little more?
Jungle where dreams are made of. Did we
harmonize? Yeah, I think we did.
By the way, so that is Jess's favorite thing to say to me. Anytime we sing anything at the same time, if it is not even close to harmonizing, Jess will always turn to me and go, "Hey, did we just harmonize?"
I think we did.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, so I dress like a slob.
I didn't say that.
Next question.
Dress for the job you want. Unemployed. I'm kidding.
I showered.
You look great.
I got ready.
I think you look amazing.
The sweatshirt makes me feel good.
I think you look good.
Thank you.
Do you feel like our banter makes people uncomfortable?
It definitely makes my family uncomfortable.
What? That's not true. We don't really banter in front of your family.
We absolutely do. But I feel like if people don't know us together and we really get going, like right now it's tame. It's tame. It's chill vibes.
Tame Impala.
But I think it can be, depending on the topic, depending on who we're out with, like it can, I don't want to say off-putting, but like it may make people nervous.
My favorite time when we were just misunderstood. I wonder if you're going to know what I'm going to tell. What's her going to tell? It was me and you. We're sitting in our kitchen with my mother and my sister. My mother was talking about something or other, and my mother was like name calling somebody that like we had met in passing, and my sister said, "Hey, we do not name call in this house." And I turned to you and I was like, "Yeah, you dumb slut." and they both looked at us, and you looked at me and you go, "Yeah, you stupid whore." And I was like, okay.
I think I must have said something because I think I said, "Oh, I will just shut my whore mouth."
It might have been that.
Yeah.
Whatever we were doing, we were both name calling.
Yeah.
And my mother and sister looked at the two of us like
just stopped that.
Dead stop.
Yeah.
They thought we were completely serious.
Yeah.
And then quickly caught on as you and I started laughing that we were doing a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that catches people off guard.
The bits?
Yeah, especially if they come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like if you're ramping up for bits, then people are like, okay, they're playful, they're fun, but if you just go straight into it and they don't know the dynamic, like I would be a little confused. I'm like, oh, is this how you guys speak to each other on a regular basis?
Oh, I put a big sign on the entrance ramp on the highway that just says entering Bit City.
Bit City. That's what we call it. Bit City.
Yeah, concrete jungle where dreams are made of. Bit City.
Bit City.
Yeah.
New York City.
Is that where Bit City is? I don't even know. It's like, is Gotham, New York, or Chicago? I don't know.
I think it's New York.
I think it's an amalgamation of both, but I think it's New York-y.
It has to be New York.
Oh, okay, I didn't realize. Do you work for DC Comics?
Yeah. It just...
This is a really big question. This is going to upset a lot of people. Have you even seen all 3 Christopher Nolan Batman movies?
I didn't even know Christopher Nolan was a Batman.
So he wasn't a Batman. He directed 3 Batman movies.
See, that's not
everyone in the comments, blow her up. It's JM Simino on Instagram. I do think it's hilarious that like I love watching movies, and you before me really didn't watch very many, and then we came together And you were
And
like,
now all we do is watch movies.
okay, well, that seems to minimize our entire relationship. But
We watch a lot of movies.
we do watch a lot of movies.
Yeah.
We do watch.
Yeah.
I think you enjoy them. You got me into watching horror. I never watched horror movies before in my life.
Which is so interesting because I never watched horror movies.
And now
I
that's
never watched a
mainly
lot
what
of.
we watch.
Yeah, I never watched. When I met you, I had plastic on my TV, and you are the one. Do you remember this? You ripped the plastic right off.
Well, with your permission, of course.
Consent is important.
Very. What I do find very funny about you is you are incredibly organized, and you really kind of follow the adage that like everything has its place, and in its place it should be, right? When I first visited you in Houston, we were going to cook something, and I reached into one of your kitchen drawers, and there was your underwear.
First of all, I had a very small apartment in Houston.
Sure.
I traveled a lot and I didn't cook. So I had a lot of cabinet space and I didn't have a dresser. So my kitchen island served as the
Underwear,
the
socks,
sock drawer,
bras.
the underwear drawer, the workout sports bra.
Sure.
It was multifunctional. And I lived in that apartment, I think, 2 or 3 years. And yeah, I never had an issue walking to my kitchen, grabbing my underwear, and then going back to my room.
I think we all do that. Do we not?
No,
Yeah,
I didn't think it was that weird.
I like to take my underwear, throw it in the microwave, kind of heat it up a little bit, and put it on in the winter.
It was a pretty small apartment.
While I am kidding about that, I have historically done that before.
I've never lived in a climate cold enough to even have to think about how am I going to warm up my undergarments.
Yeah, you have to remember that 1 week when I lived in Minneapolis, the high was -9. So
No, that should be illegal.
it is funny that you talk about how fun it would be to live in New York, and I don't think you could handle the
Whoa,
weather.
whoa. First of all, I don't have, as we've established, I don't have the clothing fit for New York.
You don't think that New York crew neck sweatshirt would do it? It says New York on it.
Yeah, that's it. Just pack up the gray crew neck and
You buy a couple I Love New York t-shirts.
I have them.
Yep. What?
No, I used to have them. They're gone now. I think you were the one that said nobody from New York actually wears the stuff that says New York on it. That is all
correct.
for everybody else, all the other states, not for New Yorkers. Like you're
Correct.
not going to catch a New Yorker wearing this gray crew sweater.
Well, if it said Knicks under it, you might. If it said Giants or Jets under it, you might.
Yeah.
But no.
They're very proud people. I don't know why they're not repping harder.
They?
The group.
New
Yorkers.
We are not a monolith.
Oh, jeez.
Okay? Each New Yorker is a snowflake.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. Any New York listeners? DM me. No, I don't. No one would wear that stuff. But I mean, I don't think no one's going to call you out for wearing it. Well, if you wore an I Love New York's t-shirt, you also.
Why is that so controversial?
I'll say this, and I'm sorry to blow
Why do people hate that? Why do New Yorkers hate I Love New York t-shirts?
Because it's commercializing and it's a load of bullshit. It's the same way that like.
Do you not love New York?
No, it's become a brand. Like I hate the fact that when I'm traveling and if I see someone wearing a New York Yankees hat, I don't actually know whether they're a Yankees fan. It's a fashion brand now. Like wearing a Yankees hat is a fashionable thing to do. But what I will say is the reason I love being a Knicks fan is because no one is repping a New York Knicks hat or sweatshirt unless they actually like the team, because we have been in suffering since 1973.
They've had a rough go. So yeah,
Yes,
you're not voluntarily. They're not selling that at like a Forever 21.
It would be Forever 1973. That's what it would be.
Put that on some hats.
Can you?
You could do whatever you want.
You want to have a side hustle? We can make some hats.
Let's do it.
That would be the least offensive side hustle that you and I have talked about. Do you not remember when you approached me where you said, I think we can make a lot of money taking pictures of my feet? Do you remember that?
I believe you had a guest on the podcast who talked about taking photos of various parts of their body.
There was one particular part of his body. Do you remember what it was?
Well, the end result, the one that the moneymaker, I believe, was the butthole.
It was, in fact, the butthole.
I think he sold that for $200.
Might have been more.
Might have been less.
I don't know. Jude, do you remember this? How much Anthony sold it for?
Was it more than 200? What is the going rate, though?
What's the going rate for a man's hairy butthole?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
I have student
hey, if
loans.
anyone's interested, she's J.M. Simino on Instagram. I don't know. But I do think it was funny where you legitimately one day, I don't remember what I was doing, but you go, we'd probably make a lot of money if I sold foot pics. And I was like, please do.
I heard that market is actually incredibly saturated.
It's very saturated now,
so it's not as simple as just logging on feetfinder.com and and snapping a couple pics.
Feetfinder.
I believe that's like the top one. I don't know. So somebody told me. I don't know.
Someone told you, huh? Yeah, you're definitely not looking at that.
I didn't look into it. No.
I will say you got very upset with me when you found out I had what one would consider the opposite of a foot fetish. I really don't love feet, generally speaking.
No, you hate in particular my feet.
I do not hate your feet. Okay, so I want to go on the record because this is literally on the record because this will be released. I do not hate your feet. I don't like feet generally. So when you take your socks off after a very long day and put your feet in my face to annoy me, which you did for the first 3 years of our relationship, I didn't love it.
All right, I think that's fair. Boundaries.
Yeah, I think I'm very good at setting boundaries.
You are.
Thank you.
Good boundaries.
You?
I could use some work. Personally, professionally, I could really stand to enhance that.
I think you set a good boundary.
With you and me right now?
No, I was just saying generally. The only boundary here is one couch cushion.
One couch cushion. This is like our side of the couch.
That is true.
We do have assigned seating in this house when we watch movies. It is assigned seating.
Your assigned seating used to be next to me, and over time you've slowly migrated away from me.
Yeah, not by choice. Another lady came in, kicked me out. So that's now her spot.
Do you want to tell everybody about this other woman?
Stella.
Yeah, she's a cat. Yeah, but don't say her name too loud. She'll come.
I know she's gonna meow downstairs. No, the absolute light of my life.
Yeah.
The reason for everything.
The reason for everything.
Yeah, she is the reason for everything. She is.
On the first day there was light and darkness, and the second day there was Stella.
There was Stella.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, she's.
I mean,
iconic.
she is black and white. It makes sense.
No, she's iconic. She's been with me. Like, there's nothing like your first pet as an adult. Like, I think everybody has like a childhood pet, a cat, a dog, really, really special.
A childhood pet? I grew up in pretty much a farm.
Yeah, set some boundaries. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. 7-year-old me. Mom, stop having your
Too
midlife
many
crisis by
animals.
working at an animal shelter. Put some of them just in other people's homes.
Yeah. But I do think that's true. Like your first pet when you're, in college, right after college, like when you're a young adult and you get your first pet, I think that pet, like that pet has seen so much. Like, how could they not? Like the transition, you're living on your own, maybe you have a roommate, but like you're getting your first job, you're dating, you're going out, like Stella has seen some shit.
I don't love the fact that Stella's seen the other men you've dated. I don't like that.
I think Stella has met all of my exes. Yeah.
Have you ever seen Scott Pilgrim? I think you have.
I don't think so, no.
Scott Pilgrim?
We already established that. Movies are not my thing.
It's literally
Was he a Batman?
No.
No, okay.
It's a character who wants to date a girl, and in order to date her, he has to defeat her 7 evil exes. And it's very funny. We did watch it together, but it's fine that you don't remember it.
I slept through it.
Probably. It's so interesting that you said to me in the earlier parts of our relationship you wanted to see the movies that meant something to me, and I showed you some, and you slept through almost all of them.
Who doesn't love a little nap, a little, just a little.
A little what?
Just.
It's good this is an audio medium as you do that. But yeah, everyone's listening. They don't see that you're doing a little head tilt with little eyes closed. It's it's the same thing you do when you have a really tasty cookie, and you're just like,
Do I make that face?
Sometimes.
Oh.
You know that?
I no.
You think it's weird that when I eat a really, 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 really good piece of sushi, like not very often, but like a really good piece of like Toro sushi, which I don't often do, just heads up. Anyone who's like, oh my God, that's so expensive.
Every Saturday, sushi Saturday, he's lying.
You're right. I'm eating Toro all the time. But when I have a really good piece of Toro, shout out Tatsu Dallas, my favorite sushi chef in the entire world, Chef Tatsu in Dallas. If you're there, go check it out. When I had that piece, I closed my eyes so I could really enjoy every single moment of it. And you think it's so funny when I do that.
It's just you close your eyes for so long.
I'm chewing.
Like if you, I mean, yes, people close their eyes and they experience it. You want me to whole hog
the piece of sushi, just one swallow?
No, I'm not saying just one swallow. But like usually you close your eyes and you're like, I've had my moment, right? Like you savor it, you taste it.
Yeah.
I look over. You're still eyes closed. You're still, and then you're doing this, like rubbing, like almost like just like relishing in whatever piece of sushi it is.
Were you more uncomfortable when I close my eyes when I eat sushi, or on one of those first breakfast dates we went on where the waitress took a particular interest in our conversation?
Okay, first of all, that has happened so many times.
Okay.
And they never take an interest in our conversation. You were there she asked what you want to drink.
Yeah.
And somehow She felt so comfortable with you in the 10 seconds with your drink order that she started sharing all of this personal information. She was moving new cities. She was really unsure. She was going to meet up with this guy. They had a history.
He was like 10 years
like,
older, I think.
Oh my God. Like I could have eaten my food, signed the check, walked out. Like you guys would have, like, I was like, yeah, I should have walked away back then.
What,
I'm
honey?
kidding. I'm kidding.
My God, some people probably don't know you're my wife as they listen to this, and
It's new for me too. It's only a few weeks.
The wifeness?
The wifeness, yeah.
I heard you call me your husband the
out.
other day on a call, and I was like, yeah, right, I am.
I use the term, the label, when it suits me. So like
I've noticed.
a good example, you've noticed? A good example would be like in a formal setting, or if it's like really like important. I'll be like, my husband. And then people like really take note. They're like, okay, this.
It's weird that you kind of say it almost like it's Hebrew. You're like, my husband.
Husband.
You really you clear your throat.
Hummus.
Yeah.
Husband. In other situations, I play fast and loose. Like if I want to be like fun and cute, it's like, oh, I got a boyfriend. Yeah, husband. Like that's final. Like that's serious. Like
thick.
That's like people respect that.
They respect.
I can't be 34 years old being like, so I have to go pick up my boyfriend at the
You're
airport.
only 34?
How old do you think I am?
I don't know. Top out at maybe 40.
I look good.
You look good, girl. But I love doing that to you. I do remember the first few times I did that to you where I said, what are you, 36? And I just purposely getting your age wrong that you thought I was being serious. For those not watching, she's just shaking her head in anger.
Yeah.
By the way, we really need to go to the first segment. Are you ready for the Newly Friend game?
I am.
Okay.
Is it the newlywed game for us? Because we are.
So unfortunately, due to
Are we
copyright,
just
it's
friends?
not.
It's not.
No,
Okay.
it's not.
Okay.
Can't be.
So we're married, but we are playing the
newlywed friend game. How about that?
Okay. This is my competitive nature is coming out. I'm sweating a little bit. It's getting hot in here. How do you hold?
Okay, y'all need to be watching this because it's a mess. Okay, my question for you, and obviously it's about the two of us because why wouldn't it be? Other than our first date in Portland, what was your favorite date that we've ever been on? 1, 2, 3. Flip, you said garden show at the community center. Oh my God, I did not come even close. I said the De Woggles dinner in Amsterdam, and then the first LA weekend we spent together. Now, do you want to tell them about the garden show at the community center?
I thought that was like a core memory.
For you, yes, I believe it was.
Okay. Yeah. So this was in. Was it 2020, 2021?
It was the height of COVID depression.
It was the height of COVID, and
Well, no, it wasn't the height of COVID. It was the height of COVID depression. So I think it was probably 2021.
Okay.
Because we could go out and be around people at this point.
That is true. So I think that this is one of our first dates, like out. You come to me, and I was really struggling after COVID, and trying to figure out like, okay, now I live in LA and all this stuff.
So just some history for people. So we were not intending to move in together, but the pandemic hit. We were long distance. We thought we would have to quarantine for 2 whole weeks. And you were like, hey, let's grab my cats. And then we can just have an extended vacation in LA, yada, yada, yada. COVID lasted for much longer. And you accidentally ended up moving here. And now you all of a sudden, post-COVID, we're living in LA and we're like, what the fuck? I don't know anything about this city.
Exactly. So to, calm that anxiety, you decided to plan a date for me.
Yeah.
And this was a Saturday. You said, hey, you got to be up this time. We're going to leave the house this time. We're going to go to this place, and I'm not going to tell you. It's going to be a surprise. So I get in the car. You drive me all around. Again, I don't really know LA that well, so I don't know where we're going. And we pull up to this big building and, this community center. I'm like, this is a weird place for a date. And I walk in and it is a garden show. It is Culver City Garden Club's annual garden show.
Sure was.
And I just lost it. Like, what a funny place for a date.
Yeah.
So unexpected, so just off the wall. I mean, I think we were definitely the youngest people there.
by at least 30 years.
Yeah, we dropped like a hundo on some raffle tickets, and then remember we just started winning. Like I've never really won anything.
Yeah,
and
I had said earlier that I'm a loser at raffles, but that raffle I don't think anyone else entered because we just were.
It got to the point. It got to the point where it was so embarrassing because you know in front of the whole garden show, everybody sat around and waited for the raffle. Like that was the big event.
You tried to stop us from collecting our prizes. You just let someone else have it.
After you're winning so much, you got to spread the love, and it was embarrassing to walk up to the front like after everyone, and at first people are really supportive because they're like all right, and then the second one you go pick out your plan of what you want, and then you start to look around and people are not so friendly. The third, the fourth time that you go up to collect your items, the payout was great.
The payout was great.
Yeah, I recommend hitting the garden show.
Let's do the same question for me. What is my favorite date that we ever went on? 1, 2, 3, flip. Oh my God. We both said the same top answer, which is Backstreet Boys. You said Stranger Things after that. I said our day in London that involved Borough Market and Bird and Blend. And when we went bowling and you started secretly ordering food every time I bowled.
That's delightful.
So for the Backstreet Boys thing, I love that we both wrote Backstreet Boys. We got points. Congratulations. We're not a dud on this game.
I was getting nervous. I was like,
and I got to tell you, you deserve to be because we didn't nail the first one. The context, which is hard for people to believe I know, is that I'm very silly in conversation, especially with you. And I will do, if I catch to me, it's catching a wave of catching a dumb running bit. I'm going to ride it. And by the way, you can put your board down.
I'm ready for the next.
We're chatting now.
Okay.
We're chatting now. You put it on the table. So I'm riding this bit of, I don't remember how it started. You said something. It's around breakfast time. You said something, and I said, "Oh, quit playing games with my heart." And you're like, "Okay." You rolled your eyes. It was like 5 minutes later. You said something like, "Oh, like you may want to grab a jacket," and I was like, "I'll do whatever you want as long as you love me." And you were like, "Are you going to be doing this all day?" And I was like, "Absolutely." And so for the next several hours, I was working in Backstreet Boys song titles into our conversation just because I thought it was really funny. That night, you're taking me on a surprise date. We get in the car. You will not tell me where we're going. We get to the Toyota Center. We're in Houston at the time. And just to be clear, there's no signage around this as to what was going on there. I'm like, Rockets game, but it wasn't the right time of year. We get in there. I look up. We are seeing the Backstreet Boys live in concert. I had no clue about that. I had no clue.
How did I pull off that surprise?
How did I happen to spend the whole day saying song titles?
Yeah, I was convinced that you were onto me because, like, what are the odds? Like, what are the odds?
So low.
So I was a little down when we walked into Toyota Center. I was like, like he knows, he sees, like this is not going to be as big of a deal. And then when you were like, oh, holy shit, like,
because my first concert I ever went to was Backstreet Boys.
Really? Mine was Avril Lavigne. Simple Plan.
What, you're saying that it was a simple plan to get to the show, or that you also saw the band Simple Plan?
No, Simple. Are they a Simple Plan or
no.
Yeah, just Simple Plan.
Yep.
They opened for Avril Lavigne. That was my very first concert.
Was it on a Tuesday? You were waiting. Oh no.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Hard to do with her. I mean, listen. No matter what, I'm with you.
Oh, jeez.
But like, this is the kind of stuff I was doing. Yeah, no, but it was amazing. The two big takeaways from that concert were, number one, the men's bathroom was empty. There was not a single person to be found. I literally, every stall, every urinal, everything you could have ever wanted, could have used. I literally could have used every single one for 2 straight hours. Nobody was there. That was one. The second thing that was crazy about all of that is that the Backstreet Boys were surprisingly good.
They were great. Our seats were great. Yeah.
They performed really well.
Yeah.
My favorite in childhood remained my favorite as an adult. AJ, shout out. And the most washed member is exactly who I thought the most washed member would be. Shout out Nick Carter.
He's my favorite.
I know.
He's everybody's favorite.
No, AJ was my favorite. I was an AJ boy.
Really? AJ was too dark. Too moody. Too,
That sounds racist. How are we doing so far on this episode? Are you enjoying this?
Yeah.
Wow.
What?
Reticence. Why?
I think for
you're nervous.
People,
you don't know how it's going.
Yeah, I don't think it's going well.
Okay.
For people that have never done press. This is my first first press tour.
Yeah.
So that I've never had an interview. I've never been on stage. I've never
That's not true.
This is maybe the second time
I've
Proud
to be American.
held a microphone. Okay. So when I was 11, I sang Proud to be an American with 100 other classmates, drowning out my vocals. So it's not the same. So yeah, I think it's hard to be filmed. Personally, I think some people are very good at performing in front of a camera and thriving. I like how you're like, "Yep, that's me." You were like nodding.
Honey,
you're like, I identify.
If I have natural charisma, there's nothing I can do about that.
Yeah. I think it's just a lot to have to perform. Like, this is not my environment. I'm the behind the scenes. Like, I am the girlfriend or the wife, depending on how I'm feeling.
Do you feel like I'm two different people when I'm on stage and when I'm in person?
I don't. I think like you really are I think at one point, like maybe it was my sister, maybe it was a girlfriend, but they were like, is Josh always like on? Like, is he always on like that? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, that's you. Like, that's you.
I don't think I'm always on.
Offline, online, on stage, sitting on the couch, like high energy, Bit City, doing all the things.
With the sign that says entering
Bit City.
Bit City.
Yeah. So I think that you're slightly different. Like, there's definitely more of like a performative, kind of component to it. I think you're also probably a little bit more polished on stage than you are off stage. Yeah.
It's interesting to me that one of the reasons I was excited to do this episode with you, I tend to believe that a lot of people don't get to see the super goofy, fun side of you.
No, lock that up.
Yep.
Keep
it up.
Keep that tight.
People at work that you work with, I hear you on calls. You are like the most buttoned up professional. You're like, "Hi, yes, Mrs. Simino, very nice to meet you. I would like," and just like you're in there. We need the FAFSA, FICRA, bing, bang, boom.
Yeah, something
stuff.
like that.
Yeah, it's close to that. And, and it's all very buttoned up and regimented. You know what I mean? But when I'm, spending time with you and you just say goofy things like all day on a Saturday, I'm like, oh, this is fun. People should know this.
No, it's the world's best kept secret.
Oh, the world's best kept. So there's no other, right now, there are rumors that there are underground highways in Los Angeles that the stars get to take. But the better kept secret,
not many people know,
is Jessica Simino and her vibrant personality.
Yeah, that's actually kind of sad. If you think about it, it's like a nice way of saying like, yeah, like, not a lot of people know that you're fun.
That is not. Hold on, back up.
Like, it's a surprise to most.
Hold on.
You're actually pretty fun.
We're backing up the truck. Beep. We're backing it up. That is not what I said.
Okay, please clarify.
I think that you are very fun. I think there is a goofiness and silliness that a lot of people don't know about you.
I think it depends. It depends on, as I thrive in a small group setting, like a one-on-one situation, fucking fire. But, larger group,
fire?
like a dinner party, fun. Great conversationalists, having a good time, very fun. I think beyond that, it is harder and more overwhelming for me to get into the mix. I don't want that. I'm just here to, check in for my dental cleaning or to pick up my dry cleaning.
What's really funny.
It becomes more of a situation when you have these relationships. It makes it difficult to like be in and out. Like, you're not able to be nimble. Like, if you're in a tight crunch, like you can't go into your usual places.
It is very funny that you're like, you want to get in and out, whereas thanks to me, for better or worse, you're now friends with your dental hygienist. You are very.
She follows me on Instagram,
and I follow her. Like, shout out Charlotte. You're friends with our dry cleaner. Shout out Deli. We love her. You know what I mean? You are now meeting all these people, like the dermatologist that we go to. The woman that checks us in at the dermatologist, she was like, "How was Italy?" I was like, "It was good," and we chatted it up. And I was like, "You can ask Jess about it." And she's like, "Really?" I was like, "No, you probably shouldn't. She doesn't like talking."
Yeah, no. It's just too much information that people have. It's too much pressure. I gotta engage. Like, what if it's a bad day? What if I'm not feeling like talking? What if I'm not? It's just.
You're always a ray of sunshine.
It's too much. It is a lot of pressure though to be your wife, to have to go to the dry cleaner or, go pick up, shoot salmon. And I think people are a little disappointed when it's me that shows up and they're like, we were hoping for Josh.
The number of people that
the number
ask
one
me
question
about you,
is, how is Josh doing?
and the number one question I
where
get
is
is
Josh? How is he doing?
how is Jess doing? Or if I go to Shoops, it is, how is our princess? They love you.
That's
I don't
very sweet.
understand it. I mean, I understand it, but the nickname I don't understand. No, I can imagine that's a tough part of me. What's interesting is you're so captivating and so lovable that I imagine that you'd want to talk to more people, but you are the type of person, and I swear to God, this is true for anyone listening who doesn't believe this. I don't remember, you wanted to pick something up. I said, let's call ahead to make sure the place is open. You were so resistant to talking to people that you just said, let's just not go then. I was like, all you need to do is just call.
I give up real quick. No, that's a barrier to entry. I'm not willing to.
Calling a store to say, are you open, was a barrier for entry that you would not cross.
No, I'm independent. I'm out here surviving. I'm not.
Are you thriving?
I'm thriving.
Okay.
And I go in and I'm not locked into a conversation I don't want to be in. Any conversation I have, I want to be there.
I think you married into a conversation that you may not want to be in.
You are locked into a conversation. I'm trying to get out of this one, to be honest. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Life-wise, or just this particular conversation?
Just the podcast.
Just the podcast. This has not been released yet. This is the most listened to episode we've ever had.
Oh, good.
Can you believe that?
I can't.
This already has hundreds of thousands of listens.
Fantastic.
I didn't even know. It's not even live streaming, but now it is.
Perfect.
Yeah. Should we live stream this?
Yeah, go for it.
Speaking of live streams, and this is not at all a good segue. Are you ready for the lightning round?
We are ready.
Who's the we?
We. Me. You. Ready.
Us.
Us.
You,
together.
me, Jude, don't need the board. Clearly, you've never seen the podcast, or you'd know that. You could put that back on the table as well as the marker.
Jesus, I didn't know I was going to be heckled.
Are you using the marker as an emotional support marker?
Oh my God!
Can I tell everybody something? This is so funny. This is my 100th episode. You claim you've seen these episodes before. Shouldn't you know that you don't need the board on the lightning round?
I should know that.
Yeah, right? Gosh, you're lucky that you're so
I thought this was
lovable.
Like you invite people over that you admire to have a cup of tea and a chat. And for some reason, I'm getting roasted.
You're not getting roasted.
Every single thing. It's like, what are you doing over there? What are you saying about that?
Why don't we take a second and we'll each say something really nice about each other? You can start.
Get to the lightning round.
Okay, this is the lightning round. This is 5 fast questions. They do not at all have to be fast answers. Okay. They are just the last 5 questions we end every episode with. I keep this on an index card, not because I don't have it memorized, but because it kind of makes me feel like a late night talk show host. And I say it with me, gesticulate with the card.
Good for you.
I thought you were going to say it with me. You didn't want to say it with me?
I wasn't sure where we were going.
Do you want to do it again?
No.
Question 1, what is a favorite ritual of yours? So for example, I love brewing tea.
I love my Sunday mornings when I do not have any plans. No pre-scheduled obligations, no plans. You don't need to go anywhere or do anything. I wake up, come upstairs, and controversial, but I do make an iced latte. I have it all, sorted out with like the Nespresso pods. It's like, we have the vanilla, we have the options, we have, the glasses. The glass straws, I feel like, are just so superior to a regular straw.
You are big on the accoutrement of a thing that you enjoy. So like, for the latte, it's glass straws, it's glass cups, it's the whole thing. You do it the same way. It is interesting, by the way, you didn't mention that, recently, I would say over the past, maybe 8 months, 10 months, we've been doing Profi.
Yeah, Profi is great.
Yeah, instead of a proper latte, instead of milk, use a bit of protein shake.
Get your protein in there.
Get your protein.
No,
I know
great.
You're all about your gains.
That is me. Yeah, definitely
Muscle.
Focused on the protein intake. That's number
one. Get them
1.
gains. Question 2, what is a running bit you have with a friend or partner that makes you laugh?
There's so many. Like the Christmas dogs, I think doesn't get enough.
Oh my God.
Enough attention.
Do you want to explain to them what the Christmas dog situation is?
So for Christmas one year, I believe it was my mom.
It was like years and years ago. It was before me.
Years. I got this pack of socks, like this Christmas designed kind of pack of socks, and there was like 3 or 4 pairs, each pair different color and has like a different theme. There's this one particular pair that has this wiener dog. Like they all have different dogs in different various, like some dogs are next to a Christmas tree, some dogs like there's like mini wiener dogs, or like some, so it's all Christmas themed. And there's one pair that is bright red, and they have a basset hound with a star, like the dog's head is through the star, like a Christmas star on a tree, and it's just this giant sewn in, essentially like a patch of this basset hound dog on these socks. And I hate these socks so much. Anytime I'm like, hey, could you grab me a pair of socks, or like, hey, can you help me pack, or whatever it may be, those socks, the red Christmas dogs,
or the blue ones,
yeah, but the red ones I have a particular just hatred for. Like it really gets me going, because you know when to pull out those socks, and it's always like whatever you get, like whatever the dealer's choice is, like those socks are always what you're gonna pick. So those haunt me.
I do love those socks. Question 3. What is a very controversial opinion that you have?
I love watching Netflix on my phone. Like
No.
Netflix, Hulu, like a movie.
You're saying if you don't have access to a television?
No, like by choice. I think it's a better viewing experience on my phone, on an iPhone.
A better viewing experience? Hold on. Okay, so in this scenario, you're in a room. The room has a perfectly placed television, right? And maybe even a laptop and a tablet with a stand.
No. I don't know why. Like there's just something cozy about it. Like there's just something that it just is nice. It's like you're 6 to 8 inches away from the phone. Like laying in bed. Like you've never done that? Like laying in bed, you like turn your iPhone, you're like on the side.
Doesn't your arm hurt?
You press
You gotta
play.
hold the
No,
phone?
you prop it up. Like you push a pillow, you scrunch it together, and then you prop the
You
phone.
could just turn the TV on, and it's bigger.
It's not about the size. It's not about the size.
Would you say it's more
the motion
the
of
motion of the
the iPhone.
The motion of
really.
the iPhone.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's you're close to it. It's like I'm a part of it when I'm that close to the screen. It's like I am in the movie.
You are the film.
Yeah, I am the film at that point. But like there's something safe about it.
We've had a ton of answers to this question, and that might be the most offensive one we've gotten to me.
I feel like more people do this.
And one person said that they don't like unhoused people. So you're climbing the charts.
I think that there's a community out there, and I think we're going to be surprised by the number of people that come in and they say, "I do that too."
Are they coming into the house? They're just
they're going to flood my DMs, and they're going to say like, "Hey, girl, we hear you, we see you,
girl,
we support you," and they're going to be like, "I do that too." So if you do that, if you watch, Netflix under the covers, like you have to like set it up
under the covers.
Sometimes, like it's just like you got to create an environment. Like the world is so crazy these days. Like you got to create a safe space, and sometimes
it's under your blankets.
just like
where
under
the monsters
cover.
can't get you if you're under the blankets.
I tuck my feet in, and I make like a little fort, and nothing else matters other than me and like Emily in Paris.
It reminds me of that thing we used to do when we were like in elementary school, where like you had like a big like rainbow thing, and you would like put it up in the air and then wrap it around you and sit, and you would like trap the air in it.
Yeah.
That was so fun.
Yeah. So when you're gone, when you're out performing and you want to know,
That's
like,
what you're doing?
You're like, hey, why didn't you answer my call? I'm like, I'm busy.
You were in a pillow fort under the blanket.
Booked and busy. Booked and busy.
Booked and busy. Question 4. Have you ever experienced imposter syndrome? And if so, is there one particular moment that sticks with you?
Oh my God. Like who says no to this?
One person said I deserved everything I got, so I don't know.
What an asshole!
I had no comment about that.
No, like that's nuts. I feel like every person, like I think that's part of the human experience. It happens at school for me, at UCLA.
You're getting your MBA.
I'm getting my MBA
at UCLA Anderson.
Day one. There has not been a single day where I have felt like, oh no, I belong here. I've never taken a business class in my life. I come from a legal and compliance background. Like if I had to pick from the Microsoft Office suite, like I only dabble in the Word and the PowerPoint. Like I don't ever venture over to the Excel. So like
Excel's been missing.
That's not my vibe. So every day, I just try to like not have a look of confusion on my face. So like every class I go to, I'm like, okay, like what are your goals out of this? Like you better raise your hand. Like you better.
Do you?
Sometimes, not all the time. I wish I was more active, but again, that's the imposter syndrome. And I think that comes from the patriarchy. Definitely.
You know what?
Smash the patriarchy.
A very good friend of mine said they had a keychain that said "Smash the patriarchy."
Yeah.
Very good friend.
She now says "fuck the patriarchy."
Good.
And
I agree.
I think it's true. But yeah. Every day, just trying to make it through, figure out what I can do, how much I can learn before they figure me out of how did she get in? How did she get here?
You should be running that school. So it's not about how did she get in. It's about when is she becoming the chancellor. That's where I'm at.
I love that part about you. I love the absolute delusional, just you can do anything. Like that is one of my favorite qualities about you.
I think that about you.
Yeah. So I went from, I've never taken a business class in my life to you saying you could be the chancellor.
And I think you could if that's what you wanted.
Yeah, no, and I love that.
People don't know this. When we found out you got into business school,
you cried.
I cried.
You cried like a baby.
And
Sobbed.
I'll cry at your graduation.
Yeah. No,
I've never been prouder. Question 5, final question. As we bring episode 100 to a close, what is your favorite tea?
I have 2.
Okay, we'll take both.
That are kind of my ride or die. So I never drank tea before you. Not even like a sweet tea, which is crazy. Number 1 is what I call the blue tea. It's in the black container. It is the French brand. And there is no other way to describe this tea other than the blue tea. It tastes like blue. It
is Marèche Frere's Marco Polo.
Yes, Marco Polo. I absolutely love that. It tastes like blue, and that's you got to go out. People have to try it. Tell your steeples,
our steepers,
or
our steeple, kind of whatever you want to do.
The steepers need to definitely try Marco Polo. It's amazing. My second favorite, which depends. I feel like Marco Polo is almost like a spring summer tea. It's like kind of light. Carrot cake. Carrot cake is my
which is
fall,
a bird and
winter
blend tea.
Yeah,
you're doing a good job representing the different teas.
Yeah, we have so many teas in the house.
You chose an herbal.
Yeah.
You chose a black. That's lovely. Would you say this is just kind of as we bring this to a close? Do you like tea? Love tea? Gotta have tea. Where are you at now in your life? I'm using the Cold Stone chart
containers.
There.
Yeah. I think of somewhere between like and love. If tea.
Oh, so you're not near gotta have.
No.
Okay.
No. Coffee for me, gotta have.
Okay.
Gotta have.
Yeah.
But tea I think is a nice addition to the beverage lineup. So, it's like when you already had a coffee, it's the afternoon, you want something, it's I think tea has its purpose. So it's a like to love, but I do get excited about trying new teas. And I think that the more that I am on this tea journey with you, the more I think I will be in the category of gotta have.
I mean, I'll tell you this, for those who are listening and you don't know, I just ordered a tea advent calendar from Bird and Blend. They give you 2 bags a day. So Jess and I will, in fact, be going on a steeping journey. That is the pod. 100 episodes. You are number 100.
Episodes.
You have always essentially been a character in all these episodes. I talk about you all the time. You are officially here. Anything else you want to tell to all of your fans as we bring this to a close?
No, that's it.
Bit anticlimactic, not going to lie. We really built you up. You dropped us there.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, we just went up the roller coaster and they go, sorry, ride's closed.
Yeah,
and we're just sitting at the top. Yeah.
I'm not who he says that I am.
Oh.
I don't know.
I thought you were about to say I'm not Houdini. I was like, well, what does that mean? But you're like, I'm not who he says I am. I'm like, okay, didn't see that going in that direction.
Yeah, you do a really good job of hyping me up.
I think you're hype worthy
on the podcast, so I appreciate that. Again, favorite quality, just Delulu
for you, Lou.
Yep, in love. Delulu in love.
For you, Lou. And if it were on a phone, for you, for Hulu, that's what you watch.
Exactly. I feel like we're going to be talking about this for a while.
I'm upset.
We're going to be unpacking the small screen experience.
Yeah, we need to go to couples therapy and talk about why you do that. That's the pod. How do you feel?
Feel good.
Feel good?
Yeah, kind of a little bittersweet.
It is bittersweet.
It's sad.
I loved having you. I would say you can come back anytime, but you live here. So I guess just, we'll set the lights up whenever you want. We'll run this round too.
Love that.
That was Jessica Simino. You can find her on Instagram at JMSimino. This episode was produced by Jude Crowner. It was edited by Martin Alvarez. Our theme song and additional music are by Oliver Hymack. Our cover art was done by Neil Fraser with photography by Matt Mazisco. Social media by Dia Villegas. Please write a review and rate our podcast on Apple Podcasts and wherever else you can. You can send any questions, comments, newly friend game suggestions, or tea suggestions to steepcombos@gmail.com or tweet us at steepcombos. I'm Josh Lanzette, and you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at Josh Lanzette. We'll be back next week, so until then, happy steeping. You're looking at me, you're like, what?
No, just in awe of you.
Taking me in?
Taking you all in.
Yeah. Take a deep breath. Just take me
Yep.
in. No?
Yep. Should I close my eyes while I do it and just
please don't. That's going to make me,
savor?
I got to say, some people watch this. It'll make them uncomfortable.
Savor the moment.
Savor the flavor.